lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the final part of the deep dive on Alyson podcast. When she posted a picture of her with her butt plug in. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Stop. Oh my god. I'm about to hyperventilate. I had fucking suppressed that memory. So she posted this picture. God help me. She posted this picture and it was like a unicorn butt plug. Yes, it was a fucking tail. So it was like a butt plug with like a tail attached to it. The tail was like all these... oh, could you imagine like one use of that on her, how bad it was? Oh, fuck. It was rainbow. It was rainbow. It was fucking rainbow. Oh, my God. I'll go and try and find it. Awesome. Thank you. But it was like, you know that, what's that Rainbow Dash, My Little Pony? You know how that has the colourful bits? It was like a long one. Like we went down to like her knees, I'm sure. At the back of her knees, it was like a silver butt plug. So it was like in there with the tail hanging out. Someone said, Anon, Alyson lost CJ for good because she slept in for court. True story, she told me that herself. Well, there you go. She had told everyone else that she had to work, and so that's why she didn't go to court. So I'm guessing she just missed the bus back there. But that's, yeah, that's pretty bad. But she was like, and it was so confusing because like 2 days later, she had the day off work and she's like, oh, I'm not feeling well. Like, so you can take the day off work because you're sick, but you can't take the day off work to go to court. Like, I would rather go to work sick with, like, poo dribbling down my leg to make sure that I could still go to my court case. Like, I would just, like, kick that shit out the bottom of my pants. Like, I wouldn't care. There is no way I would miss court for my children. Someone said, sign the rights over to her eldest and then got pregnant. Yeah, I think she signed the rights over after she was pregnant. Her and Glenn being high out of their minds on live, dyeing his hair and calling everyone goofs. I remember that too. That was like at the start because Glenn was around until he went to jail. I don't even know why he went to jail the second time. I'm guessing it's probably just drugs again because he'd been in trouble quite a few times with drugs. I do remember that, and people were like, oh, he's a fuckhead. Like, he was on there and he was just being really rude to everyone and like antagonizing on her live. People were like, we don't like him. Someone said, it's okay to be racist because she was raped by black men. And that was one of the claims that she made. She literally said that. Ugh. And people were like, no. When she let her youngest son's eczema get so bad, he got taken from her. We went through that. Pretending to have dermatillomania when it was really just mess scabs. Yep. Getting married to a man she barely knew. She didn't actually get married to him. She did claim that she was married to him. Good night. She did claim that she was married to him, made up the story that, you know. I don't know why you'd do that, though. Wouldn't you just be like, yeah, we got married? Like, why would you post, like, we got married, but I don't have the certificate because of this? Like, why would you even need to come up with a lie yet? You know what I mean? Like, you don't, to cover it up later. Like, if you want to lie, cover it up later, but you don't come out like that. That's like when people murder someone and they're like, oh, you know, I think they might have, you know, and they're getting interviewed and they're like, oh, I think they might have had a lover because they said this and they said that. Like, wait for that to come out later. It's silly. She's obsessed being pregnant but can't take care of babies or her children. Yes. She made multiple abuse and sexual assault claims. Yep. And she's gone back on those sexual assault claims. And then she goes and says again that it did happen. I really think a lot of it has to do with her just forgetting, because obviously I do think it's like the Courtney situation. She meets someone new and she's like, she doesn't want them to know, because obviously, you know, if you've done bad things in the past, you probably don't want a prospective partner to know about those things. You know, you probably want to keep that in the DL, and it's very hard when you're in the spotlight, you know. And most of the time, like, it doesn't really matter, because most of the time they're going to believe. Look at Courtney and Hale. Like, Hale, we all told Hale she was a fucking nutcase. But, like, he was like, no, she's good. Like, and now, like, he's obviously going shit. probably should have listened, but I mean, who's going to listen to an exposing page, hey? It's kind of like the same thing, you know, that she meets these guys and she has to make up that story to cover herself. Like, you know, with Shiloh, you go, oh, well, I sent Shiloh to my parents' house so I could break up with Mel. But we all know that's not how it happened. We know that she sent Shiloh there because Mel didn't want Shiloh around anymore and she was trying to save her relationship with Mel. Like, don't say you're trying to break up with him when he's already left you and you're stalking him with post-it notes on the car. And this is the same thing with her. You know, she's trying to make up a story like, oh, you know, he had this rash and I couldn't fix it, or, you know, and she needs to cover those stories so that this person sees her as the victim, whereas we all know what actually went down. Can't find it, repost it with a trigger warning. Yes, I would. That would be great. How are we on Courtney? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be on Courtney. It was just like comparing the two. You know how they have that, they're both like the same sort of people. Like they'll throw people under the bus and they have that victim mentality. And then with every true story, they will like morph it into like a fantasy, but it still sits along the truth. So you're like, oh, is she telling the truth or is she not telling the truth? Because these people are saying this and it sounds similar, but it's slightly different. And I think that's kind of what she does with this. Like she'll be like, oh, well, no, I didn't make this up. I don't know. She goes back and forth on her stories a lot. I'll be on Hale. You would too. You can't admit that your original story was a lie and then years later go back to the original story. Shit documents forever. Exactly. Like she mustn't have the login to this blog or whatever she has, because that it's just such a stupid move, you know. They are one in the same. They are exactly the same. They're not really an Insta mum. You know, people, they start following the Insta mums because they like them and they're like inspired by them and they think their lives are cute and stuff. And then you have these ones that try really hard, like those two, but, you know, they're bad parents. Like, and, you know, some of these other Insta mums aren't fantastic parents, but, you know, when you're showing that straight off the bat and people aren't following you to start with because they like you, they're following you to follow the drama. And these two are those people. Like, they're never actually considered Insta mum, even though they want to be Insta mums. They're not, because of the way they do neglect their kids. She went to the hospital for a period and claimed it was a miscarriage. Oh, almost forgot. Who remembers when Caleb was in the hospital and she had sex with some guy in the bed? She had sex with some guy in the hospital bed. At the hospital. Like, your kid's in hospital and you have sex with your boyfriend on the bed next to his. What the fuck? Like, what if a nurse walked in? Like, do you not have any dignity? Like, just fucking... That is so weird to me. Like, I can't even imagine doing that. If my kid... First of all, if my kid's sick, I am, like, with my child, right next to my child. Like, you guys know I have a child that has, like, a chronic illness. And we spend a lot of time in the hospital. And, like, between my partner and I, we usually, because we have 3 kids, most of the time... Like, our kids never left alone. Like, I will stay the night. They have these, like, fold-out armchairs, and I just sleep in the armchair for 4 days. I don't care. Or, like, sometimes we take turns. Like, I'll stay home with the others, and my husband will stay in the bed next to him, like, depending on, like, where we're at the moment, what we have the next day, how our kids are going, and stuff like that. But, like, I can't imagine doing anything in the hospital bed beside my kid. And people are like... What the fuck? Like, wasn't Caleb there? And she's like, yeah, he was sleeping, you creeps. Like, what? You don't call people a creep for, like, saying your son was right there. So, like, they're having sex in his bed next to their sleeping son who is fucking sick. He's in a hospital sick. And she's calling them creeps. Like, you're the fucking creep, man. Like, a nurse could have walked in on that. I would be, oh, yuck. Yeah, hospital bed. Almost forgot about that one. Jesus Christ. It's wild. There was another pedophile too. We have to find him. Well, he's here. I'll find him in a second. I think his name was Dominic. Yeah, grimy. It's so gross. I cannot even imagine. Like, it would not matter. Like, oh my God, go to the bathroom and flick your bean if you have to. But don't do that. Like, even that's fucking gross. But, like, if you're that desperate, like, surely there's somewhere else you can go. Like, oh my God. Even that's fucked. Like, I can't. When she washed herself with dish soap. Well, I mean, at least she's washing, right? But dish soap, that's pretty fucked up. That is the worst on your skin too. Like, I always even like washing the dishes, like it feels dry on my hands. Always have to moisturize afterwards. Brr. That's some pre-Dexton Sierra shit. Yeah, Sierra's pretty bad too. We probably should do like a flashback on her at one point. Cuts through the grease. Yeah. Oh. Like, how is that on your mind when your child is sick in the hospital? I know. Why is that guy even there at the hospital? Like, it's not like he's the kid's dad or he was even being the dad. He's just some boyfriend. Like, dude, I'll see you in a week whenever my kid's better. Like, weird. When she posted a picture of her face all effed and said it was a condition, but it was meth, it's the same one. She posted a nipple on Snap accidentally. Yeah, accidentally. Come on, you know what you post. Ugh. That's like Caitlin the other day when she's got that picture of a shirt and everyone, and like you can tell what she's done. Like someone else commented it and there was like an argument in the comments, but I can tell what she's done because I can literally do the same thing because I don't have massive boobs. They're not like tiny, but they're not massive anymore. For like last year, I gained a bit of weight because of COVID, like last year before, but I've like lost all of that now, and I actually had boobs. But now that they're almost gone, I can literally put, like, if I put like a really tight singlet on, I can sit my boobs wherever I want, and they will stay put because they're not big enough to like for gravity to like pull them at that time. But like if I don't have a bra on, they're not up around my neck. You know what I mean? So when you put a tight top on, you can literally just lift your boobs up to whatever point you want and they'll stay there. And that looks like what she's done because they look higher than what they probably should be. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But there was like a big argument in the comments and I'm like, come on guys, chill. I can kind of see what one person's like, oh, they're just perky. And I'm like, maybe they are. They might be really perky boobs, but if you have small boobs, you know what I'm talking about. You can literally wear a tight singlet top and you can put those bad boys wherever you want. I could have one nipple facing up and one facing down if I wanted to because it would hold in that place. But there was like a huge argument over it. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I don't even know how I got onto that. How did we get onto that topic? Man, the nipples, that's right. Being gang raped by black men is why she's racist. We went on that one. Neglected her child pre-drug use. We talked about that. So let me just read. Peaches is crazy. Oh, Peaches, that's that one with that pretended to kill a kid. I could see Ali eating her own poo. I think if you gave her $10, she'd do it. She'd be like, $10, $10. Like, I think she would. Oh no, someone sent me one where she was I don't know if I can say it because my stomach's going to turn, but she had like a bloody sanitary item and she was like holding it up. Hold on, give me a moment. She was holding it up and she was sucking on it. Oh, this is not Alyson, this is Peaches, but I have never felt so sick. And like I'm hoping it's all just a joke and it's some sort of sick and twisted like tomato sauce or something. It did not look like tomato sauce and it was just, oh my god. No, I haven't seen her new reel. She got a new reel today. Yeah, someone said that he dyed his hair and he was like calling everyone names and stuff. Claiming a bunch of mental illnesses that she never had was another one. And I think she said she had PTSD, anxiety, and then later on she got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and another one. There was another one, I'm sure. The one of the son with the makeup. No, I haven't seen that. I don't know what she has to make such a big deal out of it. Like, I have never thought to post my child on Facebook or Instagram for clout. Like, my son is the same. Well, he's not really now, but like my middle child, he is just one of a kind, okay? And when he was little, because we always let them pick their own outfits and whatever they want to wear, and he never liked having his hair cut, and he had this really beautiful white blonde hair, like really long. So he always had his hair long, and like we would take him to buy clothes, and he used to be obsessed with Frozen. So, and back then they didn't have any frozen boys' clothes. Like, you'd think they'd have like an Olaf shirt or something. No, none of that. So he used to just buy frozen leggings, and he would buy the shoes that had like glitter and the princesses on them. Like, that'd be like the volleys. And then he'd wear like a Batman shirt with a cape. Like, he was just something else, right? Like, his fashion sense was crazy. Like, he used to wear a nightie to bed because my mum had bought like a dress and she tried to shorten it for him to be a shirt, but he's so tiny that it just looked like a dress anyway. So we were like, whatever, like, it's what he wanted to wear. We didn't care. But it's never been something that I've been like, oh, look, my husband, like, you know, I don't understand why we have to explain to anyone on our Facebook why my husband's okay with it, why I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? This is our son. Take him as he is. Like, we love him no matter what. Whatever you think, like, we don't care what you think, you know. We'd put on our Facebook, and people would say to us, like, oh, you know, I love that you post these things of him, like, just wearing it. But we'd never explain it, you know what I mean? I'd never explain it. It'd just be, like, him posing with his brothers, and he's wearing his frozen leggings. And people were like, oh, I love that you let him wear whatever, you know? It wasn't like, oh, you know, today my son wanted to wear a dress, and his daddy's so proud, and, like, twirling him around in pictures. Like, that to me, I don't know. I just think it's drawing attention to something that doesn't need to have attention drawn to it. Like, just let it be. Like, if that's what he wants. Like, my son is obsessed with unicorns. Like, obsessed. He's been obsessed since he was 1 year old, and he got his first pillow pet, and he just wanted a pillow pet, and we took him to the store, and it was either this unicorn pink one or there was a blue dog one. And he was not interested in the blue dog one. He just wanted the pink unicorn one. We got it for him, and his unicorn collection has grown ever since. Like, he has probably like 50 something unicorns, like stuffed ones, and he's got like, he likes unicorns. It's just how he is. But it's not something like we showcase to get attention from. It's like, okay, you know, I think maybe once we posted his unicorn collection, but everybody knows he loves unicorns. Like, my friends will buy him unicorn stuff if they see it, or they'll like message me like, hey, you should see this, it's downtown, because they know how obsessed he is. Because he'll come to like a barbecue and he'll have like a unicorn beanie or stuff like that. But it's not something that I would make like a big long video and be like, oh, look how accepting I am. My son wears this. Like, my son wears what he wears. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, he can do whatever he wants. My youngest is so in love with people. Most Pepper things are girly. So she has a Pepper PJ set that is pink. I think it's going to say he. Should I make a TikTok about him, like Caitlin with my partner twirling him? Right. My son has so, like, because unicorn stuff, like, there was, like, he has unicorn stuff that has, like, glitter on it, and he's had bright pink pajamas, like My Little Pony, like, you would not believe. He'd be like, My Little Pony, and he'd wear the pajamas, and you know what, like, it's just a normal thing in our house. Like, you pick what you want to pick. Like, when we go and we look at clothes with him, we will look in the boys section and the girls section, because then he can choose what he wants, because he likes those more feminine things. But we've never thought that we have to make a big deal out of it. It's just really weird. Right, like, exactly. And it was the same, I think when he was like, we had our youngest, so he would have been 1, and when he was 2 years old for his birthday, he got a pram and a doll. And when we took him to pick the stuff, like, he picked a boy doll, but he picked girl clothing for the boy doll, and he had a pram, and he used to walk the pram, like, with his dad, because his dad would be pushing his brother in it, and then he'd be pushing the pram next to his dad. And, you know, you don't really have many people would even say anything, because I think people have learnt this day and age that it's not really a big deal. I mean, like, you know, there used to be people would be like, oh, aren't you worried? Like, he would turn out to be like, what? Turn out to be a good dad? Like, what are we worried about? But I just don't feel like it's something that has to be, like, showcased all the time. Like, just let him be. Like, kids are kids. He isn't even sure on his sexuality, but she pushes the gay preference onto him, almost influences him towards that sexual preference, rather than letting him figure out on his own. Yeah, I would think most boys are the same. Like, I think most kids, like, and you look at my middle child, he's not like he's a feminine kid. Like, he has feminine features, but he is rough. Like, he is so rough. Like, you know, this is the way kids are. Like, people, well, I don't know, like, everyone just puts everyone into this little category. Like, if you wear pink, you know, you're obviously feminine. Like, he would wear a Batman cape as much as he would wear his frozen leggings, you know. It's just kids. But anyways, I just don't understand that about Caitlin. I just think she needs to, I get it, like, it's her income to be on social media and stuff like that, so she should be always trying to keep like her views and stuff up, but she's just flogged this one a bit too long, you know. I don't know. I would much rather see just a mum hanging out with her kid than set up stuff where, you know, I don't know. It all seems like a massive setup. When she had warrants for her arrest, so just back to Alyson, sorry, my bad. When she had warrants back to her arrest, so her and her street hubby went by Chase and Ruby. What's Chase and Ruby? I don't know what that is. Claims she's allowed to be racist because of the bullshit story that she was sexually assaulted by POC men. Yep. Would you rather be a gay son to Juliana and Brett or Presto and Sierra? Shit, I think that Sierra has her shit more together than what Juliana does sometimes, but like Juliana on a normal day, I think I would pick because like they're toxic, but I think they would both be accepting of their child. So like if you're happy with living with parents that fight 24/7 and don't have much time for you, I'd probably go with Juliana. But then like if you want just a world of neglect and a mother that pretty much turns her back on you, I go with Sierra. Because I remember Sierra, she was like, I think I'd definitely have to pick Juliana and Brett. Yeah. Oh, she changed her name to Ruby. That's right. Oh my God. That is right. Chase and Ruby. Oh, fuck's sake. Glenn and then Periscope Days was the last one. So we went through the Periscope Days. The Periscope Days were pretty wild. Okay, let me just find... All right, we'll just go to the sexual assault. The other guy, the other pedophile that she was dating. Where is it? I actually found quite a few interesting stories on him, to be honest. He was like... Teddy had the stories against him, but this other one was like, whoo. Let me find him. Someone said this is another one. When my baby Caleb's in the hospital, I fucked the guy in the hospital bed. So someone said here, this is the one we were just talking about before. So she goes, someone says, wait, the one you don't have custody of, like Caleb, or the one who was sick in the hospital? Oh no, so Christopher. The one you don't have custody of, or the one who was sick in the hospital while you were fucking some guy in the bathroom? I forget. And then Alyson says, no, clearly I'm just more mature than you are. Like I said, I didn't fuck in the bathroom. I fucked him in the hospital bed. Great sex too. And then I am Titanium, who is, you know, Katie. She was like, or even better, Mum of the Year. Was Caleb in the bed watching too? And then she goes and writes back and goes, no, he was sleeping, you fucking creep. And then someone said, oh, but he was still in the bed. This is so perfect. You literally couldn't even keep them closed long enough to where you were right next to your sick son. There it is. Wild. Okay, so then we had this Dominic guy. So what's his name? Dominic. Oh, shit. Dominic. Oh, my God. With a K. Alright. So it says SkyTrain sex exploiter for criminal past. So this is his version of events. This is a guy she was seeing. I think was this after Glenn or before? I can't even remember. I think it was after, actually. But he says, I met two girls in a bar at West SkyTrain station. They were in the bar using a fake ID, and because I was carded for, I'd assumed they were as well. After a few drinks, they asked if I knew where to get MDMA. I asked why they said because it makes us horny and we want to try a threesome. I said, yeah, I have some at my place. Because it's just hanging around at my place. I have some at my place. So we ended up going back to my place and had a threesome at the same time. I was running a porn company. One of the two girls took a blanket contract and my business card with her when she left. 19 years old, boyfriend found the card in her purse, confronted her. She admitted to the threesome and got and he got past and called the cops. He got pissed, I think I was meant to say, and called the cops because I was 3 years behind on taxes. They took any chance they could to get me behind bars. This sounds like a great story, Dominic. You know, like, these 3 girls, like, he must look like a real fucking charmer. Like, they just come to him and say, oh, we want to know where we got MDMA. Like, how the hell do you just pick that guy out of a bar? And he's like, yeah, sure, man, I got something back at my house. Let's go back and party. Like, okay. I found out a month later that they were, in fact, 15, 1 year below the age of consent. It doesn't fucking matter if it's 1 year, if it's 2 days. It's fucking illegal, you dipshit. I was convicted of 2 counts of interference and 1 count procuring interference, meaning having consensual sex with a partner that is unable to give legal consent. The procuring charges were because I paid the tab at the bar. She had a contract to work Cam, however, she was never actually hired. So there you go. That's the whole truth about what happened. May I ask, how does it matter to you? I don't even know you, because obviously they're replying to that. Yeah, he drugged them and took advantage of them. Like, please. Like, 2 girls just come up and be like, hey, do you have any MDMA? Who does that? Is that like a normal thing in Canada or America or wherever these people are from? Like, do you just go up to someone and go, hey, I'd be too scared they're like a cop, and they'd be like, you're under arrest. A man accused of sexually exploiting teenage girls was found guilty on 2 counts of sexual interference of a person under the age of 16 and 1 count of communicating for the purposes of obtaining sexual services of a person under 18. 5 other related charges against Dominic Matthew Vendette included 2 attempts, including 2 of attempting to make child pornography, were stayed. The case stems from 2013 investigation in New Westminster, which is a SkyTrain sexual exploitation ring. Police allege that Vendette and another man used promises of money, drugs, and movie roles to lure girls into sex. Vendette was sentenced to 18 months and 22 days in jail, with credit granted for some time time in custody. So, like, he's a real awesome guy. This is a SkyTrain sexual exploitation ring shut down. So 2 men are facing multiple charges after investigation into an what is wrong with me? Alleged sexual exploitation ring involving teenage girls at the New Westminster SkyTrain station. Transit police announced on Friday. According to police, Dominic Matthew Vendette, 26, and Thomas John Robert Gain, 20, recruited vulnerable young women, some as young as 14, promising them money, sex, and movie roles in exchange for sex. Oh my God. He's 26. 26, and he's like 1 year from the legal age. Does that work there? I don't think so, because here you can have sex when you're 6. You can have sex when you're 16, but it has to be with someone that's like 18 and below. Like, there is like the Romeo and Juliet or whatever the fuck it's called, where but you can't be within a certain, I think it's 3 years, is it 2 years or 3 years? This 26 years old. Oops, I did it again. There's the C-bomb. 26 years old. And these are people like 9 years. Is he serious? She was 15, so it's 11 years younger than him. Oh my God, yes, Jessica. Thank you very much for that. You're fucked and you should be blocked. Yes, I do. Do you remember when she inserted the whole Coke can in the... All right, off topic. Let's not do that. We need to do an Emily back, like a... Yeah, what we should do is we should do an Emily deep dive and let her on here for the deep dive, because it's TWT 4.5. She follows this page and she keeps trying to follow the other one, and I won't let her on it. But it would be cool. We could do a deep dive. We could just call her out and be like, no, Emily, don't talk shit. I know I could never, ever block you. Oh, no. But anyway, so it says, Vendette faces 8 charges, including sexual assault and attempting to make child pornography, and Gain faces 2 sex-related charges. And then it says, the Chris Preston of Specific Community Resources, a non-profit that often works with at-risk teens in Metro Vancouver, says his group frequently sees vulnerable young people hanging out at transit hubs, and that the victims in this case were specifically targeted. There are obviously youth that are out here on the SkyTrain that are very transient. We proactively seek out youth that might need a connection back to their community. youth that are either homeless or don't have a great home situation, said Preston. So basically, Dominic's no better than an MLM mum, like one of those Huns, because that's pretty much what they do. You know, they hang out at, like, places where they can find their next, like, vulnerable victims. That sounds like we're talking about a boss babe. The accused were arrested following an investigation launched in September after an incident in which a transit police officer was forced to intervene in a confrontation between a young man and a 14-year-old girl on the platform at the new Westminster SkyTrain station. Police know of at least 2 victims, both 14-year-old females, who were sexually exploited by Vendette Endgain. One of these young women is currently recovering from a sexual assault, while the other was recently hospitalised due to a drug overdose. Investigators think there's other victims and are asking those individuals to come forward. So, wow, Alyson, you really know how to pick those men, right? Yeah, she did, Kate. She did. I'm eating don't. I know. My husband, if it's at night time and we're laying in bed, I'm like, hey, babe, look at this. And he's like, nope. Like, he will refuse to look at anything late at night. Like, the other day, there was, like, a bulldog wearing a turkey on its head, and I thought it was so great, so I had to wake him up to tell him. And I'm like, babe, look. And he's like, I don't know, no, because he always thinks it's going to be Emily Nash stuff. Because one day he sent me a message, he was being cheeky at work, and he's like, send me a nude, and I'm like, okay. And I sent one of the Emily Nash ones, and he was like, I'm never speaking to you again. He was so mad, it was hilarious. But he's never asked for one since, so that's what you do. If a man asks you for a nude, you send one of those bad boys and he'll learn his lesson. That's all we need to do to all the men in the world, little creeps. Her nudes were on FetLife, and in the background you could see like 4 or 5-year-old Max. Yeah, you could. You really could. There was pictures of him in the background. It was insane. Oh, there was a lot of stuff. It was, yeah. Well, in her defense, Ali isn't ever going to ever get a cat, so her options are slim to none with the type of people she chooses to be with. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to sound nasty or anything, but her hygiene is really, really bad. And I understand people that, you know, have issues with depression. Like, sometimes it is hard to, like, get up and go and have a shower and get motivated. But I think you get to the point where, like, you know, you're being gross. You know what I mean? And you just go and do it. No, we won't go nowhere. No, Emily's still here. She keeps trying to add the other page. She's added this one. Like, she's following this because she jumps in every now and then. But I won't let her on the main page because of what she did. I haven't seen anything of hers for months. Follow her TikTok. And you will. Because her and Emily is the face of the earth. Oh, shit, Jess. I mean, you say everything that everybody else is thinking anyway, so let's be real here. Yeah, like I think her and Maria are going to be fighting for like decades. They're never going to give it up. It's been how long now? How old's Max? Literally since she found out she was pregnant with Max. Like, oh. Okay, so let's just go back. I want to have a look and see. I think I had a video. Oh, here's some of the Alyson flashbacks. God, that house was so bad where they lived. Oh, that was another one we didn't go through. Remember because her and Becca had a heap of issues. Everyone, like, so I uploaded those pictures, obviously, of her and Glenn doing the stuff. You know what I imagine it would be like? I imagine it would be like having your hand, like the palm of your hand, you put a heap of salt on it and just licking the palm of your hand. Really sorry I just made you think about that. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But I just cannot get that image out of my head. But anyway, there's one of the things, this is some of the comments that were left. I was not ready for photo number 7 at all. Someone said, what the hell did I just see? Someone else wrote the burgers. Becca didn't really feed much into it, Yeah, well, Becca wrote, she's not going to change. This girl seeks so much attention and then expects everyone to love her after she's made multiple hate pages. She said she would be happy if my kids got hit by a bus and died. And then Becca also said, she also told multiple mums that their children should die. You popped up as one of my Facebook friends, so I can only imagine who you really are. Because this is Becca commenting on that page that was supporting her. And this is back, like, I don't know, when the Insta mums kind of like followed the pages and stuff, and then they obviously couldn't handle it. These are the other comments. Someone said, I used to self-harm as a teen and into my young adulthood. When I see this, I can't help but to cringe. Like, please stop uploading this. Someone said, wait, she publicly posted a picture of her cat being ... Yeah. But let me just go, where is that video she did the other day? I go back to find a video and I'm like, holy crap, I post a lot. Wow. How long ago was it when Alyson had her last little hissy fit? Oh, here we go. Are we ready? Just make sure the volume's turned on.
I have over 1,100 names to one of the Whole Truth pages.
Who wants to make a bet that it was like the screen recording from Courtney's page that she has the 1,100? Because I didn't have 1,100 followers at this point. It was like 900 and something because I removed a heap and then a lot of people had come back the last couple of days. And I'm like, but when Courtney went and screen recorded or got someone to screen record all the followers, I wonder if she's just found off Courtney's page because she's literally got it posted on her page.
And I am going to be removing you if you're on there. I see a lot of names that I thought I trusted, and that's
so far I've lost no followers.
It's really unfortunate for me because I've told these people some things that probably shouldn't have. So I'm a little distrusting right now. I have very minimal trust for anyone who's online. And if you're a real follower, you won't have an issue with unfollowing them. Because if you want to stay on my page and not get blocked, you need to be removed from the page. I'll double check myself.
Ooh.
I hate my life.
Oh, the filter popped
Why
off.
does it just end up in drama on me? I
hate my life. Why does it always end up in drama? She's literally making it into drama. This is the other thing as well with this page. Like, you can be friends with someone. There's lots of them. There's lots of people on my page that are friends with Insta mums that know not to cross the line. There are some people that I'm very suspicious about, like if you are friends with, you know, Juliana or just the ones that kind of make trouble for the page, I would be suspicious. Like if it was Juliana or if it was Crystal, I'm like, don't have time really for those people unless, like, I know where we sit. You know what I mean? If I know we're good, we're good. But, you know, she said stuff like, oh, I've told a lot of people this. Just because someone is following my page doesn't mean that they're following her to give me information. Do you know what I mean? They are probably legitimately friends with her and legitimately, like, concerned about her because, I mean, how often do we actually have stuff about Ali posted? The only time things are posted is usually if I see something on, like, the Sober Life page and I'll share it, or the occasionally people, if it's about me, like this one here the other day. Honestly, we didn't even post about her at all. And then Danny, who you probably remember, she was an admin for TWT, like the old page. And her and Alyson got in some sort of an argument. And Danny, like, because Danny just said it how it is. And Danny just said to her, like, I can't remember what it was now. And then Alyson being like, oh, I'm a super sleuth. I'm going to go through. I'm going to find out who this person is. And she's like, well. And, like, shows the admin page. And it's like, how many of you don't know that Danny used to be an admin? Like, she's literally looking at the old TWT page, not the new one, for starters. But, like, what has that got? And then all of a sudden she's like, TWT. It's like, it doesn't even have anything to do with the page. Like, it has nothing to do with us. It's absolutely nuts. But this is the thing, like, there are people that I talk to that can come to me and they can give me, like, ask me for advice. I'm not going to post it on the page unless it's subbed about. Like, unless someone literally says, can you post this? I'm not going to post it. Like, there are people that get subbed about on the page that I speak to, and my number one rule is do not ask me who subs about you because I'm not going to tell you. Like, you're going to be offended if I don't tell you, and this is why, like, a lot of people that I have spoken to, like Crystal and Becca and that in the past, because they don't get what they want from me, and I stick with my rules, that's why they have their little shit fights and hissy fits, you know what I mean? So my number one rule, don't ask me who subbed about you, because I'm not going to tell you. That is not how the page works. Number two rule is, I'm not going to just take something from your page and post it. It doesn't work like that. So that people that do follow the page and they get worried when I request them back, it's purely just to see who follows who, so I can keep more of a security on the page. It's nothing to do with, you know, me posting your stuff. If your stuff is posted off your page, it's not me. I can guarantee it's someone else that's on the page. There are things like, obviously, even with the Ivy stuff, there's extra stuff that I do know about, but I don't have the permission to post it yet. So what makes Alyson think that these people are purely following her to send stuff to me? Like, maybe they're not following to see stuff about, maybe they're following to see stuff about everybody. Doesn't mean that they're actually subbing it, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I wish I could double follow this page to show her how much I absolutely do not want to follow her. She's just wild. Did she actually even block anyone? I don't know. But like, even the list that she went through would be an old list. I think that was the only one that we had. Let's have a look and see. Is there anything that we have forgotten when covering the Ali stuff? I really did forget about that unicorn butt plug. Man, I forgot all about that one. There's a lot of TikToks that she does lately, but that's about it. Man, she's so gross. Like, even in that one, there's a TikTok, and she's, like, got her arm on the bench. And then she, like, lifts her arm up, and there's, like, tobacco, like, stuck all down her arm. And it's like, do you not feel that? Does that not bother you that you've just put your arm in tobacco and it's just on the table and now it's, like, stuck to your body and you're not wiping it off or anything? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's almost it. I'll just have a quick look in here. Ugh. So this is what Sober Life said to me. She says, I don't remember having sex with him on live, but I do remember working her and Glenn up so much, they sent me sexual pictures of them, which I have on my page, and I can send them over. And that's the ones that I posted today. She dated another pedophile that I think he was also involved in sex trafficking, which was that Dominic guy. So, yeah. But who's the new guy? What's his name? I don't even know what his name is, the new fella. Because I honestly, the last year or so, I've hardly kept up with anything with Alyson. Like, I've read a couple of things, like, here and there, but I really haven't kept up with it because she sort of, like, fell off the whole, the scene when she wasn't so much an instant mum. Like, people didn't really sub about her all that much. Trying to see. I don't know. Anyways, that's pretty much it that we have. I'm sure there's probably stuff that I've forgotten in amongst that. Like, obviously we know that she was on meth for quite some time. She did lose a lot of weight there. Like, she was really, really skinny there. And I think she lost the weight within, like, weeks. It's like she just didn't eat for ages. I don't know. There was, like, maybe a month. But I mean, like, drop. She was so thin. Because I remember I'd taken, like, a break. And I think I was only off Instagram for, like, 2 months. And I came back. And I'm like, who the fuck is this in my feed? And it was Ali. I was like, that doesn't even look like her. She was so thin. It was insane. But I'm guessing, like, with the drug abuse, like, you know, being on drugs, it's like a yo-yo as well. I'd say it would have the same effect dieting. It irks me that she uploads her screensaver and it was always like weird sex drawings. I don't know. I know lots of people, they really hope that Ali will get her shit together. I don't think she ever will. I don't think she ever really wants to. I mean, her kids now are at the age where, like, they're halfway through their childhood. Like, there's not really much that she can offer them anyway. I mean, you know, she's setting up these rooms, like a bedroom in a house and stuff, but it's so part-time. Like, I don't think she's ever really going to have them full-time. But I think she's not been talking about having another kid or something. That's what concerns me. I'm just thankful that she hasn't been able to get pregnant at this point. I don't know. That girl she needs a lot of help. But I think she's always just wanted to be she's always wanted to be Insta famous, as what she always, you know, at the start it was just like, she just didn't have the content the others had, you know, like everyone else has these pretty pictures, like Britney, like Jesus, she fooled us, right? Britney would have these beautiful family pictures taken, she'd do this and she'd do that, and, you know, she'd put on that show while she was live, whereas Alyson was just so unaware of how to be a mother that no one, like, we'd look at her and we're like, oh, girl, like, no one, it doesn't have that same effect, you know, like, people used to say Giuliani, like, oh, big house and husband, it looks like he loves her, and these cute little children, and they don't see the behind the scenes, it's all hidden. So people like love them and they want to follow them and they want to support them, and then you got Alyson and people are like, what the fuck, like, she doesn't even try to hide it, like, she doesn't even try to glamatize it, she just acts the way she does. And I guess like some of those Insta mums do that now, but she would just always, you know, it was just more drama was the reason why people follow her. So she doesn't have any of those diehard followers that will like go hard for her. She had a few that would felt sorry for her and stuff, and they would try and like show her support, but I really don't think she's ever going to change her ways. I think she's just she doesn't ever listen to anyone's advice, she doesn't take anything on board, and I think she's been that way since she was a teenager. Like, even when she was giving up meth and people were like, okay, you probably shouldn't drink or be smoking weed. Like, I know it's not the same thing as meth, like obviously weed's not the same thing as meth, but if you have an addiction, you shouldn't be replacing that addiction with something else, because it's where you're going to see issues. If she wanted to, she would have had them by now. She's had plenty of opportunities to better her life. Yeah, her mum let her come back in her life whenever she felt like. She could come back and like hang out with Caleb and stuff. Christopher, like, obviously Justin and Brooke made it a bit harder, but so you would. Like, you've got your own kids and you don't need to be dealing with some, you know, whacked out mum that wants to be where they want when they want to be. Like, you know, she's not their third child. Like, they just shouldn't have to be like, oh, you know, come on this day, we'll pay for this and you can stay at our house. Like, they did everything they could for Ali, and Ali did not want a bar of it. And she'd be like, if that was me and I had gotten on into drugs and whatever, and it wouldn't matter like how much I hated Justin's new girlfriend. Like, doesn't matter how much you hate them or if you're jealous of them or whatever the feeling is that she had towards her, like, you just fucking let that go and you do what you need to get your children back. Like, fucking swallow that shit. Like, swallow your pride and then go home and have a bitch about when you're at home. But while you're there, just do what you've got to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of things that we as adults have to do as adults that we don't want to do, but we do it. And I think that she's so used to having people just do everything for her. I don't know. But anyways, asking for money for groceries but buys toes and weeds with her unemployment money. Yeah. Seems to be a bit of a common thing, doesn't it, really? But anyway, that's all we have for Alyson. Like, I think we've gone through most. I'm sure there's stuff that I've missed. If I get that picture of Jess of the unicorn butt plug, I will surely share it with you so you can all share in my nightmares tonight. But I will try and get this edited, take out the stuff that I've got to take out, and I will get it uploaded on YouTube when I can. But for now, I'll get back to getting the subs done. So thanks everyone for joining me, and I'll catch you on TWT 5.0.